Hey there, folks. Quinn here, Mask Ramen on the internet. Happy Saturday. And if you've been following me these last couple weeks, you would have realized that I had just reviewed the Ultimate Spider-Man here. And this Ultimate Spider-Man, I was really harsh in terms of the scores and reviews of this book, because when I got this book and started to read it, it very much reminded me of the House of M. That's why I had just recently pulled this out and did reviews on this, because this book, to me, feels like it's trying to be this book and sort of fails in a lot of places. Just like the House of M, there was a previous storyline that preceded it, and in here in the Ultimate Spider-Man, you read here that this this here, the blurb, you learn about the Maker. I don't know if they actually did a book on that, like the Maker's Council, and the Maker is apparently like an evil Mr. Fantastic, and he kills the heroes, he destroys the heroes, he prevents them from being heroes. And preventing Peter Parker from becoming a hero didn't necessarily change the world too much, because he still interacts with the same people. Although it's not like he's like 30 years old. He's an adult. He has a family. He has kids. But in every sort of iteration of Spider-Man, of Peter Parker, he's always met Gwen Stacy, and then still met Harry Osborn. They're all go to the same high school and stuff like that. But for some reason in Ultimate Spider-Man, that doesn't happen until he's 30 years old, like in his 30s. He's married to Mary Jane, which, in proper continuity, she's sort of like the niece of his Aunt May's neighbor, right? And for no real reason, they're both married instead of him and Gwen Stacy. But Gwen Stacy's actually married to Harry Osborn in this book. Like I said through all my reviews, like, this is a mix and match of Spider-Man, which I'm okay with mix and match Spider-Man, because every cartoon that's ever been out there, most series, and when they start over, it is sort of like a mix and match. But this mix and match just doesn't make sense in my mind, why things are the way they are. Like Spider-Man says here in his, oh, I do feel like something's missing, to imply that he's aware of his previous life for some reason, because that's what this was. They had, like, Wolverine had this thing in his mind, like his healing factor was healing his mind, and it's like, I remember, this isn't the world it's supposed to be, which made sense in the context of the House of M, but makes zero sense in the context of Ultimate Spider-Man. If he's never become Spider-Man, he doesn't have, like, spider sense. It's just a 30-year-old guy with 2 kids and a wife thinking something's missing from his life. Not action, not adventure, just like something's missing from his life. And also here, he's a photographer for the Daily Bugle, which the only reason why Spider-Man picks up photography is because he needed to make quick money and just take pictures of himself. Because he's a science guy. He's always been a science guy. Why he doesn't go into the sciences in the Ultimate Spider-Man blows my mind. Maybe it's addressed somewhere else, but not in the first 6 issues of the Ultimate Spider-Man. Because if Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, was trying to get rid of Spider-Man by not making him Spider-Man, okay, but why not just kill them? Why not just kill these characters off in ways that it looks like an accident? Obviously, that's like, well, then there would be no book. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's that just nitpicking? But storytelling wise, I feel like it would have been better just to make these guys villains. That would have been a way better ultimate line, I feel, you know what I mean? Because in this, you know, Green Goblin he's a hero. And in the context of the Green Goblin, he was never trying to be a villain. He just went crazy, you know? And why not make the heroes villains? Because Superior Spider-Man was a great, great book. It really worked that Dr. Octavius was a better Spider-Man than Spider-Man, but all the while trying to be a villain. Like, that would have been something very new and very like an ultimate sort of like flip would be to make these guys villains instead. And that's why I feel like this didn't really... I love the artwork by Marco Checchetto. And I do like Jonathan Hickman. His run on the Fantastic Four was pretty good. I really liked it. But here, like, Uncle Ben is alive, and for some reason he helps run the Daily Bugle. Like, how does that happen? It's like just convenient to have, like, I don't get it. And to have like a Iron Man, like, he's the sort of the glue that keeps them together. He's the one sending out these orbs so that they can become the hero. Just become a hero. Who knows? Like, giving Peter Parker the spider that makes him Spider-Man as a teen, giving it to him in his 30s doesn't necessarily mean he has the moral capabilities of a young person. Why wouldn't they make like a more adult decision and make it to their advantage? Because that's what Spider-Man wanted to do when he was a young guy. And there's no real reason for Spider-Man to become a hero other than, and it's implied that Peter is morally responsible, even though he leaves his kids in like the second issue, like, alone, while he goes and be Spider-Man, knowing like he could die or whatever. Like, that's so irresponsible of a parent and a husband. To just be like, I'm gonna go and fight crime for no real reason. Is crime really rampant in this world? If Reed Richards made this world to his own making, there should be no conflict, just like House of M. House of M had zero conflict in the world that the heroes lived in. It was what they wanted in their life. Like, it was their most wishful life. Spider-Man was married and did have kids, but it was to Gwen Stacy. In the context of the proper Marvel universe, Gwen Stacy was like his first girlfriend, and that's who he would have married, not Mary Jane, because Mary Jane came after that, after all that. But that's what made Spider-Man the sort of most tragic character in House of M, more so than Wolverine, because Wolverine, you know, he's remembering his life, but Spider-Man had so much, I feel like, loss. Like, it's more hurtful because as the reader, you know what he went through. But with Wolverine, you didn't know what he went through because he doesn't know what he went through. So there's no characters that you can go back and be like, oh, I remember that character in Wolverine's life that did get murdered. It was just people that you didn't know that Wolverine all of a sudden knew, and that opened up the world to Wolverine origins and stuff like that. But the artwork of Olivier Coipel was throughout from like 1 to 8. He did the whole series, whereas Marco Checchetto missed the 5 and 6. And I kind of get like the 5 and 6 is drawn by Messina. But those issues were sort of like more talking heads. There weren't like too much there was no action really in those two issues. It was all sort of explaining the world of how they got there. So it was kind of not a big deal. It's a huge departure from Cochetto because it's a little bit, cartoony in some small way. Not super animation, but just different. Less detailed and less kinetic, really. But yeah, this reminded me of this and made me judge this very harshly and very poorly. But it's a good 1 through 6, great artwork. But for new readers, I mean, and that was the purpose of Ultimate Spider-Man, the first Ultimate Spider-Man, was to get new readers into Spider-Man and still sort of have like the stories that the old school guys love and revere, and just sort of give it a new twist. But this new twist wasn't really that great. Even the context of, like, I've seen better cartoon shows better than this. Like Spectacular Spider-Man is a really great series. But, they bring back the black costume. And then, in the end, Spider-Man doesn't know that he's Spider-Man. He has to wait 6 issues for his wife to say, hey, you're Spider-Man? Like, you have a spider in your suit, Like, how do you not call yourself Spider-Man? Because Green Goblin calls himself Green Goblin because he said the newspaper calls him Green Goblin. Hello, Spider-Man? Your 15-year-old self can come up with Spider-Man, but not your 30-year-old self? A little bit ridiculous. And I don't really like the spider symbol. Yeah, and then, go ahead and check out those reviews. I rated this very poorly, and altogether I would say that this is like a 4 out of 10, and this is just a 9 out of 10. Way better, more thoughtful. I mean, it does have 2 more issues than this, where the first issue on this House of M sort of explains how they got there, whereas, in this one you're just there, going sort of blind in some small way, other than that little paragraph of the maker and what's happened. And a lot of people are saying that this is good, and I think that's because they are the new readers. But if you just go back, there's better writing, better artwork. Not necessarily better artwork, just different artwork. I do like both artists. Marco Cochetto is really like one of my favorites because it's very nitty-gritty. But that's this. That's what this video was for. Just to compare what is new to me, what's old to me, and this just, I don't want to say it goes to show that the old stuff is better, because I know when they wrote these ones, there was no rights expiring or anything like that. They didn't have to make anything new. This is back before when Avengers were really taking their place, because X-Men was a Fox property, I think, at that time, and they moved away from X-Men, and this is sort of like on the edge of that, where it's they're not creating new stuff. But this was a great book. The Avengers at the time were really kicking off. The movies were on, and great time. But Spider-Man has always been one of those things, like, no matter what iteration of Spider-Man came out, it was always good. So that's why this makes this very disappointing in my eyes, because not making Spider-Man should have been something more like House of M, where the world doesn't need heroes. Because why does the world need heroes here? If it should have been like more of a perfect world to read. Because in the House of M, Magneto is like a dictator, and he's superior to humans in this one. If this is a world of Reed Richards making, why is it that these heroes, before they're heroes, are not like struggling people? They should be like homeless or just not in a good place. But having Spider-Man sort of having this really cush life, but then still feeling like something's missing, sounds like more like he just needs, I don't know, like a mistress or something, or like a secret life. Which they do give him a secret life, but like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. So House of M, go ahead and pick this up. And for new readers, go ahead and pick this up as well. They say this is really good, and I'm inclined to agree with them. Just like, because I've seen so many resets of Spider-Man that this being another Spider-Man reset only makes it really feasible for new readers. Thanks for spending your time with me. I'm making my own comic book called Emergency Signal. Go ahead and check that out. Go ahead and like and subscribe and share to my channel. And until next time, God bless.